So this is Urdizzle back with another daily tournament video, and I had planned on taking a break from these because they were getting a little stale, but this is actually a special daily tournament because it is the first one that uses Owlwood as part of the layout. And so my bag for this round is pretty much standard, but I took the river out and I decided to throw the wind skip ballista, which you'll see very early on. So just my traditional lineup of the fuse and the musket, the recoil, and then my other two ballistas. And so hole one, I messed around with for about 20-25 minutes, just trying some different discs. And I decided to go against throwing a disc on the fly because it just wasn't getting up there consistently. And I started messing with the wind skip ballista, and I started getting it like 1 every 5 times. So it was really working for me. And then hole 2, I was using the light glide ballista, and there were a couple times where I actually hit metal and almost started off ace. And I guess if I really grinded hard, I could probably get aces on the first 2, but I'm not willing to put in that time. So again, starting off with that skip ace, and then almost ace in the second one. And then this one's pretty much a musket. And I kind of messed this one up. It didn't quite go where I was aiming, but I was still able to skip through. In a couple earlier runs, I was hitting early, and I had to make a 90, 100-foot shot, which was not ideal, but still got it. And so that's pretty much an ideal start. Ace, birdie, eagle, without grinding. And so this is the one, of all the holes in this, if you're going to get a 17, this is kind of one you got to get. I'm not saying you can't get 17 other ways, but this is probably the easiest of the remaining ones to get. And so I'm just thrilled. This is pretty much a perfect start for me. Again, minus hole 2, but I don't consider that, a mess up. So then hole 5, just the light glide ballista, which at this point I think most people are pretty consistent on this one. Just throw it up there, get it on the big island, and get your eagle. So I would not have changed anything on the first 5 holes. It's pretty much ideal, perfect start for me. Now hole 6, this is one where I debate. I've got a couple ace lines with my recoil, but starting off like I did with 4 eagles on the first 5 holes, I'm just not willing to risk because you can get some really, really bad lies up there on the hill. So this one is the only hole that I really just kind of chalked up to birdie and didn't even really try to get a hole in one on it. So now we get into the first daily tournament with Owlwood. So you get to see some of these shots for the first time on my video. So hole 7 here, the little par 3 up to the right, I threw a recoil, and the wind was left to right. So it kind of played with that forehand, but that's pretty easy shot, 24. There's a couple guardian trees there around the basket and in the middle of the fairway. So as long as you get by them, you're pretty good. And I really like this hole. It is tricky, but what I like to do is play just out wide, about a 2/3 power. There's that wind skip ballista, and just let it fade back in and skip. You don't want to go too far, but anything down there, just let the gravity do the work. This hole goes down to the left and just let it fade. I won't consider that an easy hole, but that's not a super difficult hole. Now this one, if anybody does end up shooting a stroke better than me, this will probably be where they get it. So hole 9 is hole 2, and I know a lot of people who shot 10 under on Owlwood, this is probably the hole they're getting. And so I left mine a little far away, 212. So what I do is I just kind of play a 2/3 power fuse and just kind of stall it up there and slide. I like to slide it into the bush because the bush usually slows it down. And then if you're in the bush, you can putt right out of it. So that was pretty cool seeing that on the layout, and I was able to get the minus 13, 17. So as of right now, that is tied for first. And I can see that one holding. It wouldn't surprise me if somebody grinded for maybe another ace on Lakeside or possibly the eagle on hole 9 there. I will not be doing that, but it's kind of cool to see Owlwood getting added to these layouts. So the current leaderboard with about 8-9 hours left, you see there's multiple people tied at 13 under. And again, I can see someone shooting a minus 14. It's out there if you really want to go for it, but I was not going to play this layout, but an opportunity to put a video out there with Owlwood's first run in daily is pretty cool. So hopefully you enjoyed it, and I'll be back.